Hi guys, welcome back. So today I've got another interesting project here where we're going to be creating this project or menu list, and you can see when we hover our project we get this kind of pixelated image effect appear, okay? And the image follows our mouse move as well, and you can see it's not linear. We use linear interpolation to get that kind of smooth animation. Okay, this is all done with vanilla JavaScript. You can see as well when we hover a link, all the other links appear opaque and the link we hovered lights up. But the main focus of this tutorial is just to get that pixelated reveal effect for our images. We're using the canvas to achieve this. There's a fair bit of JavaScript code, I guess, but I think it's a really cool effect. I really like this. And you can see as well, so when we hover, the image appears above all of the images that aren't active, and just it remains underneath the one that is active, okay? So it's quite a cool modern effect, I think. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, guys, and let's get going. Thanks. Okay guys, so to get started with this tutorial, you can see I've just got an index.html file, a style.css and an app.js file. I've also just downloaded some random images from unsplash.com, so we've just got 6 images here we're going to be using. I'm also going to be using a font called Nubit Regular. I purchased this from Pangram, but we'll also be using a pixel font from Google Fonts as well. We can use this one, which is like a pixel effect as well. Okay, so let's get going here. So the first thing we'll do is come into our index.html file. So we'll come into here, close these down, index.html, and just close this down. Okay, so let's just get a boilerplate code up and running. So we'll just do the emit here, and I'm just gonna, in the title, we'll just put projects or whatever. Okay, so projects, and then we just want to link to our app.js, style.css file as well in our HTML header. So we'll come under here, we just say link, and I'll just say style.css like so. And then we'll also just link to our app.js at the bottom of the body. Okay, so we'll say /app.js like so. Let's open this in live server just so we can see the changes as we go. Okay, so let me just minimize this a little. Okay, so now if we come into the body, what we want to do here, there's not really much HTML. We're just going to use create a canvas first, okay? So we're going to be using the canvas to actually display the images over the menu. We use the canvas because we want to create that pixelated effect, okay? And then underneath here, I'm just going to have a section, okay? And then we're just going to, we'll give this a class of project section, projects section like so. And then in here, in this section, we're going to have a div of a class called projects like that. And then coming into this div, I'm just going to have an unordered list, and then we're going to list out our projects here. Okay, so we'll just say li, and I'll just say project 1 for now. Again, name these relevant to your projects or your links, whatever you want to use this kind of list for. Okay, so just we'll have 6 links in total, or 6 projects rather. Just rename these 4, 5, and finally 6. Okay, and there you can see our projects there. You can see we've got this kind of white space here. That's because we have this canvas section. We're going to position this absolute to take it out of the flow of the document when we get to our CSS, which we can move on to now, as that's everything for our HTML. Okay, so not much there. Let's go to our style.css now. There's not too much CSS either. So the first thing I want to do actually is just let's just get that Google font in as well for now. So we'll come to this VT323 font here. I'm just going to copy this link section from Google Fonts. So these are all free to use, and then I can just I'll paste this up here in the link section. Again, just tidy that up. Okay, so now if we come to our style.css next. Let's just get our selectors, our global settings here. So I'm just going to say here margin 0, padding 0, and box sizing border box like so. And that takes all the default margins and paddings away. Next what I want to do here is I'm just going to copy this this font family selector here. So now you'll see if we paste this, if we apply this to all of our writing, you can see we get that kind of pixelated effect, that font. That's looking okay. Next one I want to do here is I'm just going to set, actually no, I think that would be it for our, what I do want to do actually is just say list style of none as well, because we don't want any of our kind of list items to have bullet points, okay? So, you know, you had the bullet points here, that just removes it. So that's it for our global settings for now. Next one I'll do is just select the HTML on the body, and we're going to give this a background color. So, sorry, HTML and body here. We'll give this a background color of 262525. It's a nice grey, dark grey color. Okay, and then I want to just, for the purpose of the tutorial, I just want to implement scrolling functionality. Okay, so I'm just going to set the height to 2000 pixels, just so we can kind of get some scroll in there as well. Okay, and then so coming underneath this, next one I want to do is just get our section element. So we'll say section. Actually, let's just set the canvas first, okay? And what I'm going to do with this canvas, we're just going to set the position to be fixed, okay? So position fixed like so, and you can see now our links have moved to the top of the page because we've taken, when we position fixed, it takes the canvas out of the flow, the document flow. And I'm just going to say z index of 2, and we want pointer events to be none, okay? So pointer events none. This allows us to click through the canvas, so when we click on it, it will have no effect, but it will go through to any underlying links. Okay, so that's it for our canvas. I'm next going to select the section, so we'll just say section here, and then we're going to position this relative like so, and then we can say padding. I'm just going to give this some padding of 10 viewport heights from the top and 2 viewport widths from the right, for the right and left. So when you have two options here, this will be 10 viewport heights from the top and bottom and 2 viewport widths from the right and the left, okay? So now you can see we get that padding applied. I'm just going to actually add, let's just, we want all our text to be this green colour, so I'll just come to the globals here and I'm just going to say the D8 FA 30. It gives us this lime green colour, which I think looks pretty cool. Okay, so next one I want to do, so we've got that on our section. I'm next just going to set the height of our section to be 100 viewport heights, and we'll set the width to be 100 viewport widths, like so. Okay, so now that's it for our section. Kind of underneath this, next one I do is we're going to get the li. Okay, so we'll say li. So that our list elements, our list items, and we're just going to say position relative again, and underneath this we'll just say border bottom, bottom like so, and I'm going to copy this green here, but I just want to you know, make it a bit more opaque, so we'll just set the opacity down here using this bar in VS Code. Okay, and then what we need to do here as well is I'm just going to set the cursor to pointer. Okay, as you can see now we've got the pointer, and then okay, so then what else I need to do here is I just need to select it. If you remember, we had this projects div here, so we just need to adjust the sizes for this as well. So projects, so say dot project for the class, and then we'll just say width of 100% and a height of 100%, like so. Okay, so I think, yeah, now if we come to our projects UL next, okay, so say dot projects, that should be projects as well. So say projects, under here let's just say projects UL, and then we can just say here, I'm going to display this with Flexbox, okay, and then we need to adjust the direction here, so I just say flex direction, and we'll say column, so they're positioned in the column format like so, and then we'll just say width again of 100% like so, and a height of 100%. Okay, and then we'll just say justify content here, there's space between, and that should space them out evenly like so. Okay, Okay, and we just need to, with this border, need to put 1 pixel solid, like so. Okay, so why is that not coming up? It should be just li, like so. Okay, and then I'm also just going to set the font size here as well. So we'll just say font size. I'll just set this to 6.2 VW. Okay, so that just increases our font size relative to the screen width. Okay, and then I'm also just going to set the font weight as well. So say font weight 400. Okay, so there you go. There's our sort of list so far. It's looking okay. Next thing I want to do here, I might drop that down actually just to 6. Okay, so next thing we want to do is, I think we're pretty much there really. So, oh yeah, I'm just going to set, next we're going to have a project image. Okay, so we just have last thing, project hyphen image. And I'm just going to set the opacity here to be 0% because I don't want to see these images. And then also position, absolute. So these images, these project images we're going to create with JavaScript, they're just going to be used as a reference, okay, for the canvas, which we're going to be used to display these images when we hover our menu, okay. And then we just say, I'll just position these out of the document. So I'll just say top minus 100%, take them out of the document. We'll just set the pointer events to none as well, just so there's no interaction with those images. And we just say user select none as well. Okay. I'm also, while we're here, I'm just going to be using, so this is a font you can use like a pixelated font, but I prefer the one I've actually purchased from that Pangram website. So we're just going to implement that now as well. So to do that, I'll just say, we need to come above our global settings here. And I'll just say at font face, like so. And here, so it's new bit. So I just, in the name, I put new bit, like so. And then we'll just direct to the source. So it's this new bit WAF2 file. And I just specify the format after. So say format WAF2, like so. And then I can use this here. So I just say NEUBIT in the font family. And now you can see we've got that. It's like, yeah, it's another version of a pixelated font really, which I quite like. Okay, so that's cool. That's looking good. And that's it for our style.css. Let's move on to the JavaScript now. Okay, so the first thing we want to do in our JavaScript file is I'm just going to get our canvas. So we'll just say const canvas, okay, and that's going to equal document.query selector, and we'll just select that canvas element. Okay, like so. And then we need to get our context for the canvas as well. So just say const ctx for context equals, and we just get that why is it in capitals? Okay, so const ctx equals canvas dot get context, and we're just going to use a 2D context, okay, to draw to the canvas. Okay, and then the next one we'll do is just get all of our actual links or projects. So to do that, I'm just going to say const links equals, we use an array and a spread operator here. I'd say document.query selector all, and we just want to query selector all of the li elements on our page, okay? So now if we console.log canvas, and if we console.log links, come to our console in here, and then you can see we have our canvas there, so that's showing, that's great. And then we have each of our 6 links here as well. Okay, so that's working good. So the next thing we want to do here is I'm just going to, we'll come out of this, we'll delete these console logs. I'm going to create first, so we just want to have a lerp function. Okay, so function lerp, and this is going to be used to just kind of, when we move our mouse, the canvas will follow our mouse movements, okay, but there'll be a slight delay because we're using like this lerp function to smooth the moving animation. It looks more professional than rather it just being, the canvas moving linear with the mouse move, okay. So this lerp function, I've used it in previous videos. It takes in a start position, it takes in an end position, and it also takes in a time variable as well. Okay, and so the equation to get this function working is we want to return start times 1 minus t, and then we want to add end times t, like so. Okay, so just to give you an example, if we just say lerp console.log lerp, and we're just taking a start, which is, I don't know, 10, an endpoint, which is 20, and if we have a time, so if we want to, have 0.5, so what this lerp function will do, it will take, this is the kind of percentage we want to work out between the start and the end. Okay, so obviously halfway between 10 and 20 is 15. Okay, so we should have 15 logged to the console now. So if we go to our console, and you can see there's a number 15. Obviously 80%, if we do 0.8, that will be 18. Okay, so that's how this lerp function works. We're going to be using this in our animation frame to gradually decrease this and make that canvas animation smooth. Okay, so that's our lerp function. Next one I want to do here is we just want to loop over all of our links. Okay, so I'm just going to say, we'll do a for loop here. I'll say for let I equal 0, and while I is less than our links dot length, we're just going to say I++. Okay, and then what we're going to do here is we're just say links I. Okay, so for each iteration, for each link, we're going to add an event listener. Okay, and we want to listen out for a mouse over on each link. Mouse over like so. And then we do an arrow function here. And then we're just going to say here, we're going to do another for loop. Okay, so say for let j equal 0. And whilst j is less than links dot length, then we'll just say j++. Okay, and then what we want to say here is if j is not equal to I. Okay, so I'll explain this in a minute. If j is not equal to I, what we want to do is we want to get our links, the j iteration of our link, and we just want to set the style.opacity to equal 0.2, and then we also want to set the links so that for the link we want to set the style as well, style dot z index as well, and we want to make that equal 0. Okay, and this will allow the canvas to appear in front of all the these are all the links which are not hovered. Okay, so that's why we're setting the opacity to 2, and then else, so if this is if the link's not hovered. Okay, else if it is hovered, we want to set the links the link we're hovering, we want to set the style.opacity to equal 1. Okay, and then we also just want to set the z index as well, so say links j.style.z index equals 3. Okay, so now you'll see when we hover our link, the one we hover is lit up, but the others, they go to a opaque. We also need to just add a mouse leave as well. Okay, so underneath this, I'm just going to say links I dot add event listener. We're going to listen up for the mouse leave this time. So this is when we leave our links, or for each link when we leave it. Then we're just going to say we'll do another for loop actually. So I'll just say for. You could do a for each loop here, but I'm just going old school here with the old-fashioned for loop. I'll just say I is less than links dot length. Say I++ again, and then here we'll just say links I dot style dot opacity equals 1. Okay, and that will make all the links luminous again. Okay, so now you'll see when we come out, when we leave the link, they all light up again. Okay, so the one we hover is lit up and the others are all faded. Okay, so that's how you get that kind of effect. Okay, so that's it for that initial for loop of our links. So now we can move on to let's just get some images loaded now. Okay, so coming underneath this, I'll just put a comment here, say load images into an array for reference. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're just going to use an array here. So we'll say const images equals, and here we're just going to add the location for each of our 6 images. Okay, so you remember we had this images folder here. So all I'm going to do here is just going to say ./images /1.jpg, and then I'll just copy this down 5 times. Change these. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, that's why I've named my images 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here, just to make it simple. Okay, so that's our images array. And then we also just want to create another image array that we're going to add to in our program going forward. So I just say let image array. You'll see why I'm using this shortly. I'm just going to make that equal an empty array for now. Okay, so next thing we want to do here is I'm actually just going to set an image index as well. Okay, so we'll say, actually I'll do that above here. Let image index equal, for now we'll set that to 0. Okay, and this image index number, this is going to be changed depending on what a link. So if we hover the first link, for example, the index will be 0. The second index, the index will be set to 1 with our program. And this will allow our canvas to know which image to display in the canvas, okay? Because it's going to be using this image index, and it's going to refer that index against this array, okay? And it will then know what image it needs to draw to the canvas. Coming underneath this, I just want to next select some canvas movement variables, okay? Mouse move variables. Okay, and these are going to be the variables used to move our canvas with our mouse move. Okay, so the first one we want to do here, I'm just going to say let target x equals 0, let target y equals 0, and these are going to be the where our mouse is on the x and y axis of our page. Okay, that's what these target variables are going to be set with. And then we're going to say let current x equal 0, and let current y equals 0. Okay, and we're using these current variables because we're going to be using the lerp function to gradually smooth from the current position to the target position. Okay, so that's why we have these 4 different variables here. And then next one I do here is we just say window.add event listener. We'll listen out for the mouse move event. Mouse move, like so. And here, do a callback function. We'll pass in the event as well so we can get our mouse coordinates. And here we're just going to say target x equals e.clientx, and target y equals e.clientY. Okay, so now if we console.log target x and target y, you should see now we get the mouse coordinates listed there in our console. You see, so if you go to the top, you'll see, we get, pretty much 0, 0 or 0, 1 pixel. So that's our mouse coordinates, and that's what we're going to be used to move our canvas with our mouse. Just delete that console log. Okay, so next we want to do here is I'm next going to say we want to loop for our images array next. Okay, so if we come under here, and what we want to do with these images, we're just going to say images. So I'll use the for each method this time. I'm just going to say .for each, okay, and with the for each we can pass in the actual image itself. Okay, so remember we're looping for these images and we're passing in this address to our image here, image, and we can also pass in the index that's passed in with the for each function. Okay, so then we can do an arrow function out of that, and we're going to create an image element. Okay, so we'll say let l image equal new, and with JavaScript we create a new image class here. Okay, that takes in a width. I'll just say specify arbitrary number for now, 300, and then we can set the source of this image next. So we'll say image.source src, like so, and that's going to equal image. Okay, remember we pass in the source here in this array, so that's how we can just say image here, because we pass in that source there in that first argument or parameter. Okay, and then we can say l image dot class list dot add, and then we just want to add the class of project image, like so. Okay, you remember in our CSS we specified that all these project images would have an opacity of 0 and they'd be positioned out of the document, so top minus 100%, and there'd be no point events. Remember, these images are just attached to our document just so our canvas can reference them when we hover our menu. Okay, and then we'll just say document.body .append child. We want to append that L image. Okay, and then we'll just say, remember that images array we created, so image array, and I'm just going to say .push the L image, like so. Okay, so now if we go to our, you can see here the images have been added to our document, and then if we just do the image array, you'll see we have our array there of 6 images, like so. Okay, but they're positioned above the screen, so we won't be able to interact with those. Okay, so now next thing we want to do here is we're going to next create a function, okay, to draw these images to the canvas. So to do that, we'll come under here. Okay, so let's just say draw images to the canvas. Okay, so with this, we'll just say function, and we'll just say draw image. And that's going to take in the index for our image, okay? So it can reference the array that we're currently, for the list item we're currently hovering, okay? So we'll do that. And then I'm just going to say, the first thing we'll do here is get the width and size of the image, so that the width and height of the image, just so we know how big we need to make our canvas, okay? So it'll adjust the canvas size depending on the size of the image. So to do that, we'll just say let, we're going to use destructuring here. We'll say width and height, and that's going to equal, and here we'll just say image array. We'll take in that index that we passed in here, like so, image array index. Then we can say .get bounding client rect, like so. Okay, and then after that we just need to set the canvas width, so we can say .canvas width, and that's going to equal the width we have for our image that we just got here, so we'll say width, and then we just want to times this by the window.device pixel ratio. Okay, and what this will do is sometimes you may notice on a canvas when we're using a retina display, for example, that the images look a bit blurry. So what this will do is this will just times it to the device pixel ratio, okay, and this will give us a clearer, it will make it the canvas image display clearer for all screens and monitors, okay. We need to do the same thing with the height, so we just say canvas.height equals, and then we just say the height here times device pixel ratio as well. And then what this will do, I mean, this will tend, if we just if I show you here, so window.device pixel ratio. Oh, yeah, so we have a device pixel ratio of 1 here, okay? I think it's usually like, this isn't a retina display, but if you're on like a MacBook Pro, I think it's usually like 1.5 or something like that, or 2. So that's why we have to take this into account. Okay, so underneath this, next one we need to do is this will make the width a bit bigger, okay? So what we need to do is just bring that back down to its actual size. So to do that, we just say canvas dot style dot width, and that's just going to equal, we'll use some backticks here, and I'll just say width pixels, like so. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing for the height as well, and this should give us a sharp, clear image that is the actual image size. Okay, so just say height, like so. And this is why we had to append the images to our body, just so we can get this this get bounding client rect, just so we can get the width and the height of the images, okay? Just so the canvas can reference those width and height variables and apply them accordingly to the canvas size. Okay, and then what we need to do here as well is we're just going to say we need to pixelate the images, okay? Pixelate the images by disabling the default smoothing applied, okay? So to do that, I'll show you the example what this does soon, but to do this, just say ctx.webkit webkit image smoothing enabled. Okay, and that is going to be set to false. WebKit image with enabled false. There's a few. These are all the same function, but it's just to make it compatible on all browsers, really. So it's just the image smoothing enabled equals false as well. And then for Microsoft, we'll just say .ms smoothing enabled equals false. And then finally, we'll just say ctx dot image smoothing enabled equals false, like so. Okay, so that should be it. That should disable the kind of smoothing, just so we get more of a pixelated effect for this image hover effect. Okay, so what I need to do here as well, if we just come above this function, we just need to set two global variables. Okay, so I'm just going to say let percent equal 0, and we'll just say let target equal 0 as well. Okay, and we're going to adjust these in the function next. So what we need to do here is I'm just going to say basically if our target is equal to 1, that means that a link's going to be hovered, and we want the image to smooth in from a pixelated effect to a clear image. Okay, so let's do that. We're going to set 2 speeds here. Okay, so I'm just going to say 2 speeds, and this will become clearer soon. Okay, so I'll show you what this does later when the effects actually roll in, but for now, just bear with me. Make the effect more gradual. Okay, so to do that, we're just going to say if we're hovering a link, the target will be equal to 1, and we're just going to say if the percent is less than 0.2, then we want to increment our percent by 0.01%. Okay. Then we can say here else if percent is less than 1. Okay, then we just want to increment it a bit quicker. Okay, so just say percent plus equals 0.10%. Okay, so that'll make the effect quicker. And then here we can also just say else if target is equal to 0. Then here we'll just say, again, we use the 2 speeds again, so we'll just say if the percent is greater than 0.2, so 20%, then we'll just say percent minus equals this time 0.3, and then we can just say here else if percent is greater than 0, then we'll just say percent minus equals 0.01 again. Okay, so it's probably a bit confusing for now, but you'll see I'll talk this over when we get the actual effect occurring on our screen. Okay, and then the next thing we need to do here is we need to set a scaled width. Okay, so we'll say let scaled width, that's going to equal width, the width we received up here with our get planning client rect function, and then we just want to times that by the percent, okay, that we've worked out here. Okay, and then we'll just do the same for the height as well. So say let's scaled height. This is what we use to get our pixelated effect. Okay, so we just say height. Okay, and then what we can do here, I'm just going to say if, we'll do another if statement here. We'll say if percent is greater than or equal to 1, close that space, we'll just say ctx, I'm going to use the scale function here, scale, and we'll just say we want to take in the window.device pixel ratio, and again we'll take that in as well, window, so for the why we take the device pixel ratio as well, that's what we want to scale our context by. And then we're just going to say ctx.draw image, and I'm just going to say, so for the image we want to take in the image array, okay, so for the source, and we're just going to pass in the index that we passed in at the top of the function, And then coming out of that, so the dx number will be 0 and the dy number will be 0 as well. And then we just want to add the width and height at the end of these as well, okay? And then we can come under here and we can say else and here we just say ctx dot draw image again. That should be ctx. And here we just want to take in the image array index. And then we'll just say 0, 0. And for this one, we'll just say that scaled width and the scaled height. Like so. Okay. And then we just need to scale. We need to take this same scale function again and place this line here, and we'll put that underneath here, like so. And then I also just want to say here, we're doing an if statement. We'll just say if the canvas dot width is not equal to 0 and the canvas dot height is not equal to 0. That means we have a canvas or an image to draw. We can just say ctx dot draw image, and I'm just going to say we're passing the canvas itself, and then 0, 0, and then again we'll take the scaled width, and then we'll say the scaled height as well. Okay, and then we also just need to add 0 and the 0 and the width and the height at the end there. Okay, and that's it. So it's quite a long function. So basically what's going on here is we're saying we pass the image source into our draw image function, we extract the width and height, we set the canvas width and height to be the width of the image times the device pixel ratio. We then scale it back down to its original size, okay? And then we're disabling the smoothing effect for this, so we get a more pixelated effect when we hover our items. And then we're basically saying here, if the target equals 1, this means a link has been hovered. So we need to basically move the percentage of our image viewability up, okay? So if the target equals 1, we're saying basically we want to increase the percentage. And we've got two speeds here, because when it's below 0.2, we just want a slow increment just so we can see the pixelated effect more. And then when it's above 20%, it'll basically just increment it really quickly, so we see our image reveal a lot very quickly after that. Else, if the target equals 0, that means the link's not hovered, and then we'll just gradually decrease the visibility percentage of our canvas. Okay, so when it's greater than 20%, we decrement, we decrease the percentage by 0.3, and then when it gets to below 20%, we just do a gradual decrease there by 0.1%. Okay, and then what we're doing after that is we're getting the scaled width of our image. So we're just, to get that scaled width and height, we're just timesing the width and height by the percentage we set here. And then again, we're saying, if the percentage is greater than or equal to 1, then we basically just scale. We just scale the context by the window.device pixel ratio, and we draw the image as it is clearly. Else, we're just going to say draw the image first, okay? Using the scaled width and the scaled height this time, so this gives us that pixelated effect. We're scaling it to the relevant size of the screen again, and then what we're saying here is if we have an image to draw, if we have a canvas displayed, then basically we're just redrawing that canvas and we're just applying the scaled width and height and the usual width and height, and this will give us that kind of pixelated effect. Okay, so now what we want to do here is we're just going to say we want to loop for all of our links again. So just say links.forEach. Actually, we could probably do that up here, so I will links.forEach. Oh, Joe, what, just for the sake of, I'll just do it under here for now. We can tidy this up later. Say for each link, and again we pass in the link and index here, like so. Okay, and then what we want to do here is I'm just going to say link.add event listener. We'll listen up for a mouse enter, like so. And here I'm just going to say, let's just say image index equals the index. Okay, so that's what we're doing. When we enter the image, it will take the image index and it will apply it to that image index variable, just so our function knows which image to use. And then we're setting the target to equal 1, and that's what's used here. Okay, so we're just saying here, if the target equals 1, then it will increase the percentage gradually. So that's it for our mouse enter. And I'll just say link dot add event listener, mouse leave, and here I'll just say we'll just set the target to equal 0. Okay, and that will just gradually fade out the image in a pixelated manner. Okay, so we're nearly there, guys. Let's just create one last function next, and this is going to be called animate. So say function animate, like so. And what we want to do here, so this is for our mouse move, we'll just say current x equals, we use that lerp function, and we'll just say current x. So that's the starting position. The target x is the position we want to go to. And then we'll just say 0.075 for the percentage increase, okay? We'll do the same kind of thing for our current y position as well. So I'll just say current y equals lerp, current y, and target y, like so. Next we want to do here, I'm just going to say let, and we use that destructuring again, let width height, okay, and that's going to equal our image index, image array, and then we want to get the image index variable, so that's the index we're currently hovered, and then we'll just say .get bounding client rect, like so. And then here we're just going to say canvas .style .transform equals, use backticks here, we'll just say translate 3D, and the first is the x position for our canvas. So we want to, with the mouse move, we'll just say current x here, so current x, and then we just need to subtract the width of the image divided by 2. Okay, so this will keep the image centered to the mouse. That's why we're doing this, and then just add pixels after, and then for the the y position, we'll do the same thing. So we'll just say current y this time, and then we'll just say minus height divided by 2. Divided by 2, and then don't forget to add the pixels after, and then for the z-axis we'll just say 0. Okay, cool. So next thing we want to do here, come underneath this, we're just going to say we just want to draw, we use that draw image function next. We'll just say draw image, and then we want to pass in the image index. Remember, with our draw image function, we pass in the index of the image we want to use for our canvas, and then we'll just say window dot request animation frame animate. So we'll call it over again, and then coming out of here we'll just say animate, like so. Hopefully this should work. You can see now we get that cool pixelated effect when we hover our links. Okay, I mean, this could be tied up. I think, to be honest, I should be adding this this mouse enter and mouse leave because we already had this up here. So let me just bring this down actually, and we can add that just to tidy up the code a bit, because we don't want to be using excess lines here. So to do that, we can just say, we'll just copy this. So say links I dot add event listener, and let's just copy this. Okay, and then we'll just do the last one for the mouse leave. So I'll just say links I dot add event listener, and then yeah, let's just copy this. Okay, and then if we comment that out, it should hopefully still work. Got an error here, index is not defined. Okay. Oh yeah, okay, so that should be I. Okay, yeah, that works. So let's just delete this. Okay, so that's pretty much it, guys. Let's make this a bit bigger so you can see. But yeah, I think it's a pretty cool effect when you hover. You get that kind of pixelated. It looks pretty cool, I think. And we're using the canvas here. Follows the mouse, but you can see we get that kind of delay when we move our mouse as well. That's the learn function. Okay, so it's not linear to the mouse move. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, guys. Thanks for watching. Yeah, any comments or any questions, please give me a comment. I know there's probably quite a lot of code for that JavaScript. Took me a while to figure out this effect, but I really wanted to achieve it without using kind of pixelated images. I wanted to use the canvas. It's quite a powerful tool. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.